Hi, Victoria. Hi, Penn. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
Hello.
You too.
My name is Gonzalo Lazari from Blu Radio Colombia. And Victoria, how are you? How does it feel to come back again to your life? And Penn also.
Our lives as our characters?
No, and your life, like actors and actor.
Yeah.
How do you feel after pandemic?
Yeah,
like,
well, I
to
mean,
act again?
Sorry?
To like be able to act again?
Yes.
Oh, it's great. I love acting.
No, yes, but in the pandemic time, maybe you stay in your home. And how does it feel to come back to the normal life after pandemic time?
you know, I will say that being in New York City right now doesn't necessarily feel like that yet. I mean, my stepson went back to school, and after 3 days, he had to come back because there was a positive test. So here, there's actually like enough happening, and people are in isolation still when they're positive tests, and it's just like it's still kind of, it does not quite feel like back to life. It doesn't yet, actually, which is kind of exhausting. But I mean, it's interesting, as the show is coming out, there's something of normalcy returning, like trying to do press, releasing projects, talking about them, looking to the future. But yeah, I don't know.
Victoria, I want to start the conversation talking about your gestures. For me, is one of the most incredible details of your performance in the series. How difficult was the acting exercise, the gesticulation of your face?
I find my work challenging, but also enjoyable. I guess it is difficult, but when you love what you're doing, difficult things become enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. Ben, I think that your voice maybe is one of the crucial elements of your performance. Do you think that the essence of the character in his way of acting, moving, or thinking, do you think that the voice is the most important element of the Joe character?
Well, the voice lets me act a certain way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The thoughts allow me to do very little sometimes, or they allow me to, it's not a normal, it's true for all people in the scene, but of course other people can't really be reacting to my thoughts. So they have to find, for like Victoria, she's got to like just be present and find something to do while the thoughts are happening. But for me, it's like I've got to sort of live in them, but not telecast them too much. So yeah, I can't imagine this show without that. Certainly, I mean, it would just be completely different. Yes. The way that I would have to play all of Joe's layers would be very different.
Victoria, in this season, there are very important elements that part of our life: the COVID, the technology, the social network, the media attention. Do you think that this season is closer more to the reality than to the fiction?
I mean, it's still very much fiction. You mean closer than other past seasons?
Yes. No, but closer to the real life, because the COVID, the social media, the media attention. I don't know. Do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think are very human. We're existing in a community that seems to have avoided COVID altogether, so that doesn't feel like reality. My reality. I think that feels very much like fiction.
Okay. Penn, the evolution of the character in these 3 seasons leads to me to ask you, could you still define him as a stalker in the 3rd season?
Yeah, that's not all he is. he's definitely a stalker. I mean, he's a stalker, and a
He's a
murderer.
follower now.
And
He's a follower now. Okay, nice answer. Ben, how different is the Joe taste of reading from yours? What, for example, what book do you recommend me and the listener in Colombia?
It's funny. Actually, my computer's on a stack of books. I don't want to. Okay, here's a great one. It's not light, it's profound. It's called No One Cares About Crazy People by Ron Powers. It's really, I mean, it's a lot, and it's about mental illness. And for those of us who have it in our families, it's a really intense read. There's another one here by Frank B. Wilderson III, Red, White, and Black, which is a study of race and U.S. antagonisms in U.S. cinema.
Okay.
I've got a modern translation from a Jewish scholar named Robert Alter of the Hebrew Bible. I actually think this guy's an atheist, but his commentary on the translations before every book are, just from a linguistic perspective, like so illuminating on like how language forms our thoughts and affects our behavior. And then I've got Joe's favorite, Intergenerational Cycles of Trauma and Violence and Attachment and Family Systems Perspective. And then I have Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome by Dr. Joy DeGruy. So
you read a lot.
I've read some of every one of them. I haven't finished them all.
Wait, what were you doing what were we shooting? And then you were also reading.
Oh yeah, we were
shooting
yeah.
Is this spoiler okay? Is it going to be spoilers in this one?
It will be a spoiler, but you go ahead.
Is this airing after? I can't remember.
Go ahead and say it. I think it's fine.
Okay, when we were shooting it was just a very sexual stuff that we were doing for like a few days, and he was reading Night by Elie Wiesel, and I was just like, man, you don't read the book, you don't want to be doing this right now.
I
kept being like, I don't think you can do it.
It was so, I mean, what was interesting though is that it was like so heavy. Heavy is not the right word to use, but it was compelling because it's so real, you know. And it's like what we were shooting at that point was quite fantastical, and it was just like there was something about it that was very fitting, and then there was also something about it where I was like, okay, I think this is affecting my ability to perform. So
you want a book to take you somewhere, you know.
And it does.
Victoria, tell us what book recommended you for the listener from Colombia?
Oh, so the only book I've ever read is Night by Elie Wiesel.
Okay, nice answer. No, talking about Victoria, about the family. In your opinion, a personal opinion, what is the limit between the good and the bad when we talk about taking care of the family?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of value in kind of diverting the dichotomy of good and bad. I don't believe that people are good or bad. I don't believe the things that people do necessarily could use some probably better descriptors than that. I think that it is really important to be, forgiving and generous, but at the same time, I think that there are limitations to what we can withstand as people, and a huge duty that we have to our families, I think, is to take really good care of ourselves so that we can support them in the ways that we can if they want that, I think it's a really interesting, complicated discussion, but I think it is a really is a great one to be having for sure.
Victoria, Penn, thank you so much for the recommendations, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Gonzalo.
No, thank you.